Hi everyone, welcome back to Jennifer Broussard Art. Today we're going to paint this really pretty snowdrop flower with a ladybug. Photo by Pat Photographies on Pixabay. I'm going to use a selection of paints from my big 48 pan palette, and I might be adding a little bit of titanium white. I'm painting on a 5x7 cold press block of Arches 100% cotton paper. I made the block myself, and I will put the link for that video in the description. As always, you can find the outline and the reference photo and other files on my Patreon channel. I'm going to start by using a number 10 Princeton Neptune, and I'm going to wet the whole paper. Yeah, I'll go over that ladybug. I'm going to swipe in some lavender. Right over everything. And take it off the ladybug. Then I'm going to swipe in, let's get quinacridone magenta. Get a little bit of that back here. Spread it around. And I'm going to get some serpentine genuine. Right on the wet paper and let it spread. That's white. I'm going to put a little bit of that down here. And I want some more of the quinacridone magenta. And then I also want to mix a little bit of ultramarine with that and put it in here. I'm going to put it back here too. Got lots of granulation happening. I'm staying a little bit away from the white flowers. Now I want to get just quinacridone magenta. Put some of that up here. Now let's get some neutral tint and put up here. Put a little bit of that here, and then some in here. Okay, I'm going to rinse, and I'm going to get my brush damp, and I'm going to lift off the edges of the flower. I'm also adding a little bit of dark green down here. I'm going to lift out some foliage. I'm going to add a little bit of dark here and there to imply that there's shadows there. I'm going to now, since it's getting a little bit damp, add a little bit of water drops. And that's it. Now I'm going to let it dry. Now I don't want to get rid of this, I just want to soften it. I like that the background is coming up over onto the flower, but I just don't like the hard edge. So I'm just getting rid of that. I'm going to use my Silver White 4 and get some more of the Serpentine Genuine. You can use green gold, you can use sap green, just use whatever you have. I added a little sap green to that, a little bit of water. And I'm gonna come up, see this one is light, I'm gonna come up to this one. Not gonna be really realistic about this. I'm just gonna make different shades of green, that's it. Okay, this is a darker green on this side. And I'm going to get some green gold and put on this side. It's very light right here. So I'm just going to lift that off. Okay. And then a little bit of this green on this stem that comes out of the leaf that's curled around it. I've got some cascade green, a little more sap green, a little more cascade. And I'm actually gonna put this on this inside one. And I'll come up to there. I'm gonna actually put some of this over here. Okay, let's get some more green gold and come out here. I'm not going to touch that stem yet. And I'm going to go right there. Now this is part of a flower. I think it's just going to have to be in the background. And then this right here is a flower. I'm going to get a pencil. There is another snowdrop right there. And then this snowdrop. There's a little green part right there, and then another petal. And then there's like a line right there. I'm going to do the ladybug too. Okay, now I can see it better. I'm going to get some of the graphite off. I want to see it better, but I also don't want all that graphite. And now I'm going to get some more of the quinacridone magenta and water it down. I'm going to add a little bit of, I'm going to actually put that over here. I don't like what it's doing with that green. A little bit of the ultramarine. And I'm going to carve out going to smooth, soften that out. I think I need a bigger brush for that. I'm going to get this number 8. Lift that. Okay, now I'm going to get some ultramarine blue and continue with this over here. Now I'm going to get some lavender. Go over the pink. Quinacridone rose. It's a pretty pink. I'll put that up here. And I'm going to get some more Turpentine Genuine and put that over here. Some sap green. And then a little more blue. Okay, I'm going to bring that up here. This sort of brownish pink, I guess, is coming up here. Now, I don't want to get rid of this wash, but I do need to deepen it. Get some more of the brownie pink. Some more of the ultramarine blue. Some more of the lavender. Some water. And we're going to carve out these little leaves. Okay, we're going to get rid of that one. Come up here. Get some green. Some blue. Some green gold. Okay, now I'm going to let that dry. Now I have my number 2, and I have a little bit more of this brown color. And I want to put it, number 2 is too small. What am I thinking? I want to unify these colors a little bit more and make it so that this can stand out a little better, getting a little neutral tint. A little bit of blue. Darker up here. Clear water. Just deepening the value here so that we have more contrast with the flower. And then when you do that, you also have to make sure that you don't get your hard line drawing in your wash. So I'm keeping an eye on that while I do this. Okay. Okay, I want some more of this. I love that when we had an accident with the magenta mixing with this green mix, and then now I really like that color. Happy accident. Okay, I'm going to get some more of the blue. Come up here. I'm going to kind of go over some of this with some clear water so we don't have such a cutout. Now I'm just lifting there. Okay, now I'm going to dry that. Now to show the blurry edge, I'm just going to soften this. Okay, so that's blurry. This is blurry. This is blurry in here. And then this is really hard line. This is blurry. This is kind of turning into a painting playtime. This is a total experiment. I did not do any planning. I'm just painting. Okay, now I'm going to use the number 4 and get some of the white. Spread it out. This is titanium white. And I'm going to add it here. And I'm going to soften the edge like I would with any color. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love that. I'm going to do this a lot now. Okay, same thing over here. We're adding the paint on and we're going to take off the edge. We're just going to soften the edge. I was wondering if that would work. Okay, now with the damp brush, I'm going to come along the edge and blur it. I love that. I'm so happy it worked. I am seeing that it is going out to where I left a wet edge, so I'm going to have to lift. Same here. My wet paintbrush stopped here, and this wet paint is going to the edge and stopping moving. Okay, same thing here. Soften that. Now this is a hard line, and this is a hard line. So what I'm going to do there is get some of the quinacridone magenta and add it with a little bit of the blue. And I'm going to carefully carve out that one little shape. Now I'm going to soften that edge. Bring it out. I can do this little green part right here. Oh, and I didn't dry that white, so now it's running. A little bit of yellow. And I'm going to get some neutral tint and add it to here and soften it. The wet brush. And then that gray comes over to there. And I'm going to use the other side of my brush to put a few little lines in here. Some more dark right here. And then we need a little blue right here. Get a little pink with the blue. And underneath the ladybug, there's a little white stripe of flower. And then we have some more shadow. And I'm going to use the other side of my brush to do some little scratches the length of the petal. And that's it. I'm going to dry it, and then we'll do the same thing to these two petals. Now I have a little white, and I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to add a little bit in here. Okay, now I'm going to wet this leaf, this petal, and add some of the colors for shadow. I'm going to get some of this bluey pink and put it here. Goes all the way up in an arc. Get some of this pink. I'm going to put it right here. And then I'm going to use the back of my brush to score in some little lines, some texture. And then let's do this same thing over here. This one's not going to have any lines scored in it because it's totally in the background and it's blurry. I just want to put a teeny bit of color. Okay. Now on these, I'm going to also add the white. There's one in front and one behind. I'm going to do the one in front first. You know, I'm just going to do them both. And then I'll separate them with a little bit of paint. I like that the pink is showing through. Okay, I'm going to rinse my brush, and this time I'm going to do the lifting with my number 8. Not the lifting, the softening. It's a really good brush for softening. I think I need to get more white on that line. That looks better. Okay, I'm going to wet this one and add a little bit of bluish gray right here. And then I'm going to add that same color right here and soften it out here to show just some directionality. There. All right, let's do the ladybug. I'm going to get my number 2, and I'm going to get Scarlet Lake. I'm going to do one coat of Scarlet Lake on the ladybug, after I do a little bit of yellow. I've got Nickel Azul yellow and Scarlet Lake. I'll do yellow in a light value. I'm going to dry that. Okay, I've got my Scarlet Lake ready. I'm just going to do a light layer of Scarlet Lake. And I'm going to just soften that right there. And then down below, I'm going to add a little neutral tint to the Scarlet Lake and add it down here. I'm going to bring it up and add cadmium red. There's a lot of water and pigment in here now. Take some of it out with a damp brush. Okay, I'm going to get some more of this color and put it at the bottom. More neutral tint at the bottom. And it comes up around this side. Now the head is actually blue. Get some of this blue. This blue is going to be the highlight that we see on the head. The head comes all the way back over here. I've got some more just Scarlet Lake. I'm going to go right over all of this. And now I can start doing the little highlight, which is like a V shape, like that. And then there's another highlight right there. It's dry, and I've got my number 1 with some neutral tint, and I'm going to do the little dots. This is a dot that's in a shadow. There's a dot here. This dot has some highlight in it. I'm just going to put the dots on, and then maybe we'll take them off. Dot on the edge. This line comes up. And then this dot, I'm going to dilute that pigment a little bit with some water. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now a little more neutral tint for the legs. Little leg right there. A little something right there. This leg comes, it doesn't do what it's doing. It comes out like this and then goes that way. Another little section. And then this one comes out like this. I don't know what's under it. I think that's just a piece of stuff. And then little antenna. I'm going to get a little white and add it to this highlight, and I'm going to add it over that little dot like that. Then I'm going to also add some white over here on that dot and over here in this shadow. And then a little bit over here on the red. And then these like white eyes or something right there. She's got a little bit of shadow underneath the body. So with a very, very light value of neutral tint, I'm going to come under here. And then there's a little bit underneath this front arm. I'm going to darken the head right here. And I'm going to darken those two. I'm going to add a little more red to here and up to there. I'm going to put a little bit of this over here. Now I've gotten out some neutral tint, and it's watery, and I'm going to start adding it all over this painting in the background. I'm going to vary the value. Like right here, I'm varying it so that we can still see the colors coming through. I just want to push this background more to the back. I'm going to be very light around here so that I don't mess up those blurred lines that we got. I'm going to go right over this foliage. Right under the ladybug and around this hard-lined flower. Water. Okay, let's come over here. And that is drying funny. Okay, let's come up here. So whenever you think something's getting overworked or it's just not working out like it was for me, I thought I was going to have such a pretty little negative painting and oh, it was going to go just perfectly, exactly the way I wanted it to go, and it wasn't. I almost stopped the video and was going to start over on something else. And I don't like to waste paper, especially Arches paper. So I decided this could be a lesson for all of us. And I think it was. I don't think this is a bad painting. I really like that little ladybug. And I enjoyed painting it. And that's my goal always, to enjoy it. I thought it would be fun, since we have it out, to do a little bit of bokeh. I'm going to use this Wonder White scrubber brush, number 6, and scrub out a few little light colored spots for bokeh. I'm just holding the brush up on its tip and doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not pressing really hard. You do have to switch your paper towel around to a clean spot. Go right over that stem, push it to the back. Go over this petal, push it to the back. This one too. Okay, a few more. I'm going to do some in here. I'm not going to do bokehs in here. I'm just going to take a little bit of this out. A swoopy thing there, another swoopy one there. One like that. And with that, we're all done. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day.